So we have reached the end of the road. The van is now parked at a house that we purchased in Vermont, and we're still sitting on camp chairs though, because our stuff hasn't arrived in the moving van from California. So a lot has happened since the last time I posted a video. We'll get into all of that at the end, a little channel update, what's going on, what you can expect. But in this one, I just wanted to show you the overview of the route that we took over the last 18 months, living full-time in the Foam Bones Falcor transit van. So let's get into it. Now this trip was about 40,000 miles across 47 of the United States and 2 Canadian provinces. So if I tried to show it to you all on this map, it would get very confusing. So we're going to break this up into different legs of the trip, and I'm just going to give you an overview of where we stopped along the way without any specific details about any particular place. Maybe we'll do that some other time. Now the first leg was just a test run down the Southern California coast and then into the San Bernardino Mountains. And then back up to the home base. At this point, we just wanted to figure out what was going on with the van. It was only about 2/3, 3/4 built out at that point. We just wanted to learn how things were going before we finished everything out. The next trip was just another test run up to Northern California, Humboldt County area to visit some family. Then back to the home base. We made some more tweaks on the van, finished it up as much as we could. These things are never finished, as I've said before. And then we headed out for the official road trip. Now, went up to Oregon, first night on the road, celebrated at sunset with champagne and listened to some records. It's pretty nice. Then we headed up into the Olympic Peninsula, where I attempted to do a back handspring. I should have been doing this in the wetter sand. I mean, it turns out okay. Nobody gets injured here, but the sand was a little too deep where I was doing it. And almost, but not quite enough rotations lands on his head. They usually work out better than that. This was one from 10 years previous. I mean, I'm 46. What do you want from me? Anyway, spent some time in Olympic National Park. This is the rainforest up there. It's lovely. Nice little hikes through the rainforest. And then across Idaho and Montana, where Kendra got a little pew-pew. She got a little firearms instruction from a real-life Montana deputy. You're going to think twice about coming in our van unannounced. Then over to Rainy Lake houseboats in the Voyageurs National Park for my dad's 70th birthday. After that, we continued east around the Great Lakes. We had a lot of friends and family that we needed to visit, including a stop in Chicago, which is probably, I think, our only urban camping experience in the van on this trip. After that, it was time to head into New England, where we were planning on moving to, so especially Vermont. All kinds of stops all through Vermont, just wandering around. After that, out to Acadia National Park in Maine. And then back into the Vermont area. Heading down into New England, over into Catskills Park, and then over into upstate New York again. By this time, fall had set in, and it was time to head down through the Delaware Gap and into the Appalachian Trail area, following the Appalachians all the way down. Here's a misty sunset at Shenandoah National Park with some deer headed through there. Very nice. Through Shenandoah all the way down to the Great Smokies. Great Smokies has lots of bears. We didn't get too close. As you can see, the zoom of my camera had to be moved to its fullest extent to get this little guy climbing down out of the tree there.
Along the very scenic highways that are along that area. Then a couple of detours to see some more family, and we're here into North Florida. Continuing all the way around the Floridian Peninsula.
Got to see a SpaceX launch from Cape Canaveral. That's always exciting. And we also went to NASA and checked out some of the van life vehicles of the future. Got to work on that project next. Foam bones on the moon. Send one of my vans to Mars. Why not? Pretty fun.
Including the Keys and a couple of national parks down there.
Here's some ibises. Ibis? What's the plural of ibis? Anyway, here's some ibis in Key West.
Including the Everglades.
These guys. I mean, I could watch these guys all day. I feel like they're having a conversation up there, just discussing the goings-on of the mangrove swamp. Dinosaurs walk among us, you guys.
Onto the east coast of Florida, following the peninsula around until we got back into central Florida. Leaving out of there, we took a real quick trip back to Vermont in the middle of the winter.
Vermont, but it's the season of the sticks and I...
Just to see how cold it was and how the snow was. Then back to the beach time, so through the Gulf Coast area here.
Now this is very cute, but not great for the cleanliness of the van. It's a lot of frosted donuts of dogs. Sugar-coated dogs in the van. Ugh. Continuing on along the Gulf Coast here.
Destin, etc. New Orleans for a little while. Then up into the Natchez Tres area.
This is one of the best times in van life for me. Just not this time specifically, but grilling up some food on the side of your van during a gorgeous sunset. Can't be beat.
And then down along the Texas Gulf Coast, lovely area, did Texas Hill Country.
Now, they call it Texas Hill Country, but it's not real hilly. I mean, I guess plain state standards.
And then over into Big Bend and some lovely areas there, before heading across Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, and back into home base in California. Now at this point you might be thinking, okay, they've circumnavigated the lower 48, must be time to get some moving going. But no, we didn't have anywhere to move yet. We needed to go buy a place in Vermont. So wandered around the western United States a little bit more. Then we visited with my brother in Colorado and saw some of our favorite sites there.
One surprising sight was this perfect hole-in-one by Kendra. Boom!
Wandered across the country.
This is West Virginia. This is Kentucky. And this is Ohio. And this is the Ohio River, apparently. Obviously. And that is a big barge. That is a Kendra. And that is a Bonnie and Dizzy.
We're in West Virginia.
In a van. Down by the river.
And ended back up in Vermont again.
The dogs are always trying to pretend like they're saving us from monsters that never appear.
What are they after?
I have no idea what they were after. We never know what they're after, but we appreciate them helping nonetheless. After doing some house hunting and putting a place under contract, we went back around the Great Lakes, Niagara Falls, up across into Canada. We did Ontario and Quebec provinces, and then came back into Vermont. Now, we got to cross back across the country to load all of our stuff onto a moving van. Then we traveled all the way back across the country. Now that brings us to where we are right here, right now, which is the end of the road for our road trip. But not the end of the road for van content on this channel. I have barely scratched the surface of the build footage that I shot of building out this van. There's lots more content like that coming up on the channel. The other good news about us being here now is that I have a new garage space that I'm going to be using as a shop, where I'm going to be able to do Q&A videos and show you guys answers to questions that you've had on all the previous videos. I'm going to be able to do more testing on the foam construction system, the screws, and a bunch of things like that you guys gave me a bunch of great ideas for and asked a bunch of great questions for. So if you have any more questions about any of that stuff, put them down in the comments here, put them in the comments of my previous videos, and we'll cover all of that. We also had a little bit of a lull in posting videos, and the main reason for that was buying the house, I guess, and all of the moving logistics. But also, when we were in Canada back in August for my birthday, I got a really nice birthday present of Lyme disease. And for a while, thought it was the COVID, but then realized it couldn't be because I tested a bunch of times, and wished it was COVID, because I tell you what, Lyme disease, tick-borne illness that you get, that's neurological and gives you really crazy symptoms all over the place, if you don't know. I wish it would have been COVID, because that probably would have been easier in this day and age of COVID research and treatments that we have. Lyme disease was horrible, and I was out of commission for like a month. And so yeah, now I'm feeling a little bit better from that, and I'm hoping to get back on my schedule of regularly posting videos. It's going to take me a little bit to get into that weekly routine that I was in for a long time there. But yeah, lots more stuff coming up, so check out the other videos if you haven't already, and then let me know what you'd like to cover, because lots of Q&A videos coming up on the channel very, very soon. Thanks for sticking with me, and hope you enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you next time.